Good morning and welcome to day 2 of Vlogtober and October. It is looking very autumnal here in the work car park. I work on Wednesdays and Fridays. I've just pulled up, it's 8 o'clock and I left at just before 7 because the traffic lately has been horrendous. Oh my goodness, there's a whole load of mushrooms. I'll try and film those before I go in. Particularly within the last sort of half a mile of my work. It takes 15 minutes to go like half a mile. It's ridiculous. It's so frustrating. Anyway, I'm going to go and get myself in and set up at work. I'll try and film some mushrooms on the way in. And yeah, let's get started. Oh, I should say as well, I just remembered, I was looking at the comments this morning from the day 0 vlog, and let me just have a quick look. I had been asking for your favourite YouTube people or YouTube tutorials about making my quilted hexagons that I was showing you. Loads and loads of you have mentioned Kate at the last Homely House. Somebody else mentioned Emma Jones Vintage, and there were a few other mentions as well which I haven't got round to making a note of, but I just wanted to say thank you for all of your help and advice. I shall try to sneak in a little bit of YouTube watching to get some inspiration and help with what to do next with my little hexagons, so thank you for that. I'm usually first in at work on the days that I'm there. I start at 8:30, so I get to turn the lights on. And I always start with a cup of tea. And this morning a little snack of some dates. I love dates. I've been using a Pomodoro timer recently, which I'm finding really helpful to help me stay focused. I'm having a cheese and tomato roll, tomatoes from the garden, still getting them. So it's lunchtime now and we're going to go and look for mushrooms, and oh my goodness, there are so many in the grounds at the moment. And I was delighted that this was still here. I actually found this last week. I'm assuming it's the same one, it could be a different one, but it's just perfect. The weather was doing everything all at once, raining and sunny, and the mud is back. I do love the mud. If only you could smell this. You can just imagine the fresh earthy smell, can't you? Oh dear. Dramatic skies. 2 magpies for Joy. And at this point I just felt like Alice in Wonderland. It was so dark in the woods. And it's not quite as dark as it looks here, but it did feel very magical. And I couldn't resist just stopping by for another look at the same toadstool on my way back to the office. I finished work at 4:30, so here I am on my way home. Some people clearing up a fallen tree. I didn't notice until I was editing that man gave me a cheery thumbs up, and I didn't do that back to him. I feel bad now. Oh, so I am just home. Oh, hello. You appeared and the cat meowed, so it looked like you were meowing. Yeah, I'm just home. It's 5:30, so I've actually made pretty good time because it's been a bit rubbish traffic-wise recently. Let me just put you on top of a tin of haricot beans. It's not going to be perfect, but it will do for now. Yeah, I'm just home and I am going to go and move all my files from today onto my iPad and do my thumbnail. It's all over the... and it's all over the rug as well.
I don't know.
Teenagers.
Teenagers.
Oh, damn. Per face. What was I saying before I got distracted by crumbs? Yes, I'm gonna go up into the bed office and just sit there and do what I need to do. I've just been thinking about getting into bed all day. It's only 5:30. Phoebe is out helping at the open evening at her secondary school. So all the secondary schools have open evenings at this time of year, and she's staying to help show prospective parents and students about, and she'll be there till about 8. We are having jacket potatoes tonight. I've got the oven on heating up, but as we all know, it's a slow cooking thing, so the oven will heat up in about 10 minutes, and then I'll get the potatoes in for about an hour and get making the beans. Actually, I might turn the oven off and heat the oven up in about half an hour instead, because I want to give myself time to get stuff done. I'm just rambling now. Anyway, I'm going to have some Ryvita and some Laughing Cow because I'm a bit peckish. Homemade beans, and here is real baked beans, well, Heinz baked beans. My baked beans. I haven't actually tried it yet. I've tried the sauce. I had to tweak it a little bit, and I had to keep changing the pans about because the sauce just wasn't thickening. So I think if I did it again, I wouldn't add as much water as the recipe says. But let's have a taste.
Looking at them, can't tell the difference.
Lovely. Yeah, the only thing I would do is say it needs plenty of seasoning. I'm going to talk to you about why my eyes are looking red in a minute. Yeah, it needs plenty of seasoning. I put in the recipe calls for vegetable bouillon, and I put in 2 vegetable stock cubes. And I put in a little bit extra balsamic. I put in a splash of liquid smoke, Stubbs liquid smoke as well. And I blended the sauce before I added the beans as well, because I didn't want it to be all lumpy. Maybe if I hadn't blended it, it would have been thicker. So I think maybe what I'll do is add the water more gradually next time.
You can't tell, visually you can't tell the difference. They look exactly the same.
What do you think of the taste?
The taste is lovely. The beans are slightly firmer than the beans in a tin, but that's not a bad thing.
I can't believe I'm eating beans. The only problem with a jacket potato is you always want to yum it up and it's always too hot. Got to go and pick up Phoebe in a minute. Now this recipe says it makes 4 portions. So I've just had quite a large portion, and Dan had some on the side so he could try them, and he really liked them. But look, these are like quite big scoops. I would say that's what I would have on a baked potato. Maybe a bit smaller than average. So I've got 4 tubs. I've got another 2 here. So this recipe is freezable. It does say, what does it say? Leave to cool completely. Freeze for up to 3 months, defrost thoroughly in the fridge overnight and reheat in a pan. So that's good, isn't it? That you can, I'm going to do a couple of slightly bigger portions. So I'm going to do Phoebe's for when she gets back. But I think you'd be hot. She would be hard pressed to tell the difference. We get the low salt version of Heinz baked beans anyway. So in terms of added salt and a salty flavour, I don't think she would notice much of a difference other than the texture of the beans. The beans are firmer, which I prefer than baked beans. But I'm actually going to keep one to one side and maybe have some for my breakfast tomorrow with some scrambled egg and a bit of toast on the side, because I can't have it on the toast because I can't be dealing with that. But yeah, very good. But just bear in mind, plenty of seasoning and you're going to have a lot. Unless you really, really like beans. But you know, that's good for the freezer, isn't it? Very happy with that. Got to do that thing now where I've got to work out what lid goes with what container. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I just got all that right first go. Amazing. Well, hopefully I'm in focus. Sorry about the terrible light. I'm going to give myself like 4 minutes to go through and answer some questions. I'm not going to let myself get carried away, otherwise that's when very long vlogs happen and nobody's got time for that every day. The first question that I've just seen, I don't know the answer to, which is really, really bad, but Dan would. Does Phoebe play district football or is it just club football? I think she plays in a league. Just made an announcement on our AI friend and I'm pretty sure he said club football. I should know the answer to that. I'm ashamed that I don't. Oh, Charlotte at Books and Bargains has commented. Hello Charlotte, love your daily vlogs. Hope that Lilia's having a fab time at uni. She is. I can't believe she's only been gone a week and a half. More mentions, so many mentions for Kate at the last homely house. That's so lovely. Definitely going to go and have a look. Another for Emma Jones vintage sewing box as well. Oh, Sue has said Lily and the Bee. Sorry, I should say I'm talking about English paper piecing tutorials because I asked about it on day 0. Lily and the Bee did a tutorial on English paper piecing recently. Oh, this is interesting. Margaret North. Hello, Margaret. She has been talking about sewing the hexagons together, and she said, I learned patchwork and quilting at school in the mid-60s along with other needle crafts. And it's funny because my mum thinks it's funny that it's called English paper piecing because she just knows it as patchwork as well. So I wonder if so yeah, and my mum would have been at school in the mid-60s as well. Another Susan has said Kiko Sabi is a YouTuber who does small English paper piecing. Not tutorials, but lovely to watch her make it. Oh, so many of these to go and look at. Oh, Sharon. I am so happy that you're doing Vlogtober. Thank you. There's so many people in the comments that I recognise that are here so often, and some new people as well. And oh, it's just so lovely reading the comments. I did not know that you can return books to Audible. Can you explain? So yes, you can. You have to be on the desktop site. You can't do it via the app. And I can't, if you Google where to go to do it, because I can't remember, Google is probably much more helpful than me, but you have to go into your purchases and you can see what you've purchased and you can choose to return things. You can't take the mick though. You can't be silly with it. So I've returned a couple of books like over the years where I've listened to the first 10 minutes and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to get on with this. And I also returned one once where I knew I'd never re-listened to it and I'd had it for years, so I returned it. But recently I returned 2 in a row that I wasn't getting on with at all. And I thought I was going to, but I didn't. So I returned 2 in a row and then they stopped me returning a 3rd one as well. So, but I actually just contacted them and explained and they were super helpful. It was really, really helpful with the online chat. So yeah, you can return books, but you can't take, you have to be sensible with it. Please tell Dan, oh, this is lovely, Kelly. Please tell Dan I'm sorry to hear he's feeling poorly and I hope he gets well soon. There's been a couple of lovely comments for Dan. I was reading them out to him over our cups of tea this morning. So thank you for that. He's feeling loads better today, by the way. Taters, precious. At 29:05, this is in day 0, when you hit the glass of the lamp, when I did this, she said it played the beginning of Down Under by Men at Work. Okay, I'll have to go and re-listen to that. Tina, what is the beautiful piece of piano music from your walk? Good question. Which did I use on day 0? I get all my music from Epidemic Sound. I pay a subscription for each of my channels, which means I can use all the music from there without worrying about copyright. But most of what's on there is available elsewhere to listen to, like on Spotify, YouTube, and quite often Apple Music as well. Is it that one? Or is it this one? Right, I've just done a comparison. It is called, it's by one of my favourite artists on Epidemic Sound. It's called Breakfast on the Balcony by Franz Gordon. He's got loads of really wonderful solo piano pieces, yeah. So I will try to remember to write that in the description box so you know. And if I can find it anywhere, I'll link it. Someone else has just said Fat Quarter Shop did a very good in-depth tutorial with Tula Pink on how to English paper piece. I would also recommend getting the Sew Tight magnetics. Really helps keep pieces together whilst you're sewing them. Oh, you see, I knew that you lot would come through. It's like having, I've said this before, I think, but it's like you're my Google and I just ask questions, and but better than Google, because I have many different perspectives coming in. None of this AI. Real people around the world giving me information. Anyway, sorry if I missed any questions, but hopefully I didn't ramble on for too long. I was going to tell you about my eyes, my poor eyes. So I have dry eyes. I've had them for a while. It's for at least the last 2.5 years they've been really bad. I use this every day, cosying Extra. It was recommended by my optician when I first went to them about the problems. I don't wear glasses or contacts. Last time I had my eye test about 1.5 years ago, I still had 20/20 vision. I use this usually about this time of day when I'm going to bed, and sometimes in the night if I wake up and it's making me feel uncomfortable, and always in the morning. It's getting worse. I'm using it more and more often these days. But then in the last 2 weeks, the skin around my eyes has just turned to like paper. Basically, it's so dry. I've got dry skin all around my eyelids, all around here. And I've looked it up. It's got a name, blep something. blep. And it can be caused by hormonal changes. So I'm probably going to go and see my optician again just to double check that there's nothing untoward. And I also think I'm going to stop using this because I did a bit of an experiment. I would take my makeup off and cleanse every night with micellar water. And I had a break from it and everything really cleared up. And then about 2 days ago, I tried it again and it's all dried out again. So I'm going to give this to one of the girls. I'm not going to use it anymore. I've heard that rose water is really good. Natural rose water. I have no idea where to buy it. I thought I'd just walk into Boots or Superdrug and get some. Apparently it's not that easy. So if anybody uses something gentle and natural as a cleanser and makeup remover, please let me know. And if you, especially if you're in the UK and you use rose water and you know where to get it, please do let me know in the comments, because I need to have, I don't wear a lot of makeup and I tend to only wear makeup on days, you know, if I'm going out or if I'm going to work. But I do need to cleanse and, you know, make sure my skin is clean. So yeah, let me know. I know so many of you will have had the same ailments as me at this time of life. I'm 47 now. So I am well and truly into perimenopause. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Anyway, I really want to put this in my eyes now, so hang on a minute. Oh, that's better. I feel like a new woman now. So I'm settling down here now. Phoebe's getting in the shower. She had a really good time helping out at the open evening. We all enjoyed our jacket potatoes. Dan's watching a bit of boy telly, something with Tom Cruise in it, running around escaping and spying. And I am going to set up here. I'm going to get myself a hot milk in a minute. Careful not to wobble the bed desk as I move my legs. And I'm going to read a bit more of my book. How far am I into The House in the Cerulean Sea now? 72%, and adoring this book. It's so lovely to have a book that I can't wait to get into bed and read. It is such a heartening book, and I'll talk about it more when I've finished it, but it's just about acceptance and prejudice and people being fearful of others who they don't understand, but also people surprising you and stepping out of comfort zones and finding found family. And yeah, it's just cozy and lovely. I adore it. And I've done exactly what I said I wasn't going to do, and that's rabbit on. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for the enthusiastic response to the first 2 days of Vlogtober. Oh, I spotted that a couple of you had said you were doing Vlogtober. I haven't written that down in my notes. I know, Happy Little Yarn, you're doing it, but what I'll do is I'll gather together the comments in the morning and try to remember to do a little here's who I know is doing Vlogtober, just as just so that you've got other people to go and find. I was talking to some friends on WhatsApp and we were saying that's the good thing about YouTube. There's something for everyone, no matter what mood you're in. I love it. Anyway, see you tomorrow.